Vivien Leigh was a name that would one day become synonymous with one of the most iconic characters in cinematic history, but her story began far from the glittering lights of Hollywood. She was born Vivien Mary Hartley on November 5, 1913, in Darjeeling, British India. Her father, Ernest Hartley, was a British cavalry officer, and her mother, Gertrude, was a woman of Irish and French ancestry. This multicultural upbringing gave young Vivien a unique worldliness from a very early age. She was exposed to different cultures and languages, which perhaps sparked the imaginative spirit that would later define her performances on the stage and screen. Her mother instilled in her a love for literature, reading her stories from Greek mythology and classic tales, nurturing a nascent talent for storytelling and drama. The family moved back to England when Vivien was just a young girl, and her formal education began. She attended the convent of the Sacred Heart in Roehampton, London, where she first expressed a clear and unwavering ambition to become a great actress. She told her friends that this was her destiny, a declaration made with the same fiery determination that would later characterize her most famous roles. Her education continued across Europe, with time spent in schools in Italy and France, which further broadened her horizons and polished her skills. This period of her life was crucial in shaping the sophisticated and intelligent woman she would become, providing her with a depth that she would bring to every character she portrayed. At the young age of 18, Vivien enrolled at the prestigious Royal Academy of Dramatic Art in London, a clear step towards making her childhood dream a reality. It was here that she truly began to hone her craft, learning the techniques of stage performance and voice projection. She was a dedicated student, driven by an intense passion for acting. In 1932, she married a barrister named Lee Holman, and soon after she gave birth to her only child, a daughter named Suzanne. For a brief time, it seemed she might settle into a conventional life, but the call of the stage was too strong to ignore. She adopted her husband's first name as her professional surname, becoming the Vivien Leigh the world would come to know. Her professional career began on the London stage, where she quickly garnered attention for her stunning beauty and captivating presence. She appeared in a play called The Mask of Virtue in 1935, and her performance was a sensation. Critics and audiences were mesmerized by her radiant charm and undeniable talent. This success opened the door to film roles, and she soon signed a contract with the famous film producer Alexander Korda. It was during this time that she met Laurence Olivier, a celebrated stage and screen actor. Their connection was immediate and profound, both professionally and personally, marking the beginning of a legendary partnership that would dominate the theatrical world for years to come. In the late 1930s, Hollywood was consumed by one of the biggest casting searches in its history. Producer David O. Selznick was adapting Margaret Mitchell's best-selling novel, Gone with the Wind, into a grand film epic, and the entire country was desperate to know who would play its fiery and unforgettable heroine, Scarlett O'Hara. Nearly every famous actress in Hollywood auditioned for the part, from Bette Davis to Katharine Hepburn, yet Selznick remained unconvinced. He was searching for an actress who not only looked the part but could also embody Scarlett's complex mix of vulnerability, ruthlessness, charm, and sheer will to survive. The search became a national obsession, with magazines and newspapers speculating endlessly about the final choice. Vivien Leigh, still a relatively unknown actress in the United States, had read the novel and became completely captivated by the character of Scarlett. She felt an intense connection to the role, believing she was the only one who could truly understand and portray her. With incredible determination, she traveled from London to Los Angeles, where Laurence Olivier was filming Wuthering Heights. She managed to arrange a meeting with David O. Selznick on the very night he was filming the iconic burning of Atlanta scene. Myron Selznick, David's brother and an agent, famously introduced her by saying, "David, I want you to meet your Scarlett O'Hara." The producer was immediately struck by her beauty and the fiery spirit in her eyes. After this dramatic introduction, Vivien was asked to perform a screen test. She read scenes from the script with a poise and intensity that left the producers stunned. Despite her English accent, which she expertly concealed, she perfectly captured the essence of the Southern belle. She understood Scarlett's flaws and her strengths, her selfishness and her resilience. She was not just acting, she was channeling the character. After months of searching and testing countless actresses, David O. Selznick had finally found his star. The decision was made, and the relatively unknown British actress was cast in what would become the most coveted role of the decade, a choice that initially surprised the public but would soon be hailed as an act of casting genius. Gone with the Wind, released in 1939, was an unprecedented cinematic event. It was a spectacle of epic proportions, filmed in glorious Technicolor and running for nearly 4 hours. The film told the sweeping story of the American Civil War and Reconstruction through the eyes of Scarlett O'Hara. Vivien's performance was the heart and soul of the film. She brought Scarlett to life with a breathtaking performance that was both ferocious and fragile. Her portrayal earned her the Academy Award for Best Actress, cementing her status as a major Hollywood star. The film itself was a monumental success, breaking box office records and becoming a cultural phenomenon that has endured for generations. While Scarlett O'Hara would forever define her career, Vivien Leigh was far from a one-role wonder. She was a dedicated and versatile actress who sought challenging parts on both stage and screen. After her immense success in Gone with the Wind, she returned to the theater, often performing alongside Laurence Olivier, whom she married in 1940. Their partnership was legendary, and they were considered the golden couple of the stage, tackling many of Shakespeare's greatest plays together. They toured with the Old Vic Company, bringing classic theater to audiences around the world. Vivien's commitment to the stage was a testament to her love for acting as a craft, not just as a means to achieve fame. She valued the immediate connection with a live audience and the rigor of theatrical performance. Her film career continued with notable roles that showcased her incredible range. In Waterloo Bridge from 1940, she delivered a heartbreaking performance as a ballerina whose life is shattered by war, a role she considered her personal favorite. She also starred in historical dramas like That Hamilton Woman in 1941, where she played Lady Emma Hamilton opposite Olivier's Lord Nelson, and Caesar and Cleopatra in 1945. Each role was a departure from Scarlett, proving that she could embody characters with subtlety, grace, and deep emotional complexity. She was not just a movie star. She was a serious actress who carefully selected her projects, always striving for artistic excellence rather than simply repeating a successful formula from her past. In 1951, Vivien delivered another of her most powerful and iconic performances. She was cast as Blanche DuBois in the film adaptation of Tennessee Williams' play A Streetcar Named Desire, a role she had already perfected on the London stage. Her portrayal of the fragile, fading Southern belle who descends into madness was raw, haunting, and unforgettable. The role was emotionally and psychologically demanding, and Vivien immersed herself in it completely. Her performance was a tour de force, earning her a second Academy Award for Best Actress. This triumph solidified her reputation as one of the greatest actresses of her generation, capable of portraying characters of immense depth and tragedy. However, behind the triumphs of her career, Vivien faced profound personal challenges. She was diagnosed with bipolar disorder, a condition that was poorly understood at the time. The intense emotional swings associated with her illness made her life and work incredibly difficult. The pressures of fame, her demanding career, and her tumultuous relationship with Olivier took a heavy toll on her health. Furthermore, she contracted tuberculosis in the mid-1940s, a chronic illness that would plague her for the rest of her life. These struggles were often hidden from the public, but they required immense strength and courage for her to continue working at such a high level, making her professional achievements all the more remarkable. Vivien Leigh's career, though brilliant, was tragically cut short. Her ongoing battle with tuberculosis eventually worsened, and she passed away on July 8, 1967, at the age of just 53. The news of her death sent a wave of sadness across the world. As a tribute to her immense contribution to the arts, every theater in London's West End dimmed its marquee lights for an hour in her honor. It was a fitting farewell to an actress who had dedicated so much of her life to the stage. Her passing marked the end of an era, but the beginning of a legacy that would continue to inspire and captivate audiences for decades to come, ensuring her light would never truly fade. Her legacy is preserved forever in her iconic film performances. As Scarlett O'Hara, she created a character so vivid and indelible that it is impossible to imagine anyone else in the role. Gone with the Wind remains one of the most beloved and watched films of all time, and her performance is a cornerstone of its enduring appeal. As Blanche DuBois in A Streetcar Named Desire, she gave a masterclass in screen acting, portraying mental fragility with a harrowing honesty that still resonates with viewers today. These two Oscar-winning roles alone secure her place in the pantheon of cinematic greats, representing two of the most complex and powerful female characters ever brought to the screen. Beyond these two towering achievements, Vivien Leigh is remembered for her extraordinary beauty, her fierce intelligence, and her unwavering dedication to her craft. She was more than just a beautiful face. She was a serious artist who fought to be recognized for her talent. Her determination to win the role of Scarlett O'Hara against all odds is a legendary story of ambition and self-belief. She proved that an actress could be both a glamorous movie star and a respected theatrical performer, bridging the worlds of Hollywood and the London stage with grace and skill. She set a standard for professionalism and artistry that many who followed would aspire to. Today, Vivien Leigh continues to be a subject of fascination and admiration. Biographies, documentaries, and articles continue to explore her life, her work, and her complex personality. New generations of film lovers discover her performances and are mesmerized by her on-screen presence. She remains a symbol of the golden age of Hollywood, an icon of beauty, and a testament to the power of a truly great performance. Her legacy is not just in the awards she won or the famous roles she played, but in the enduring emotional impact of her work. Vivien Leigh was a true star, and her light continues to shine brightly in the history of cinema.